Hello everyone, myself Bautik Trivedi, working as an assistant professor in IT ICT department of LJ Institute of Engineering and Technology. So I will explain you the concept of introduction of ATM in advanced networking protocol subject. So first of all, what do you mean by ATM? What is the full form of ATM? So ATM, that means asynchronous transfer mode. So let's start with the concept of ATM in detail. So first of all, why we require the ATM? What's the basic requirement of the ATM? Why we need the ATM? So the first thing is that all of you know, in a networking you can apply the different kind of application. So you can apply the data application as well as the multimedia application as well as the voice, audio and video. So whenever you collaborate with the ATM, so mainly two type of application is there. One, that is the data application. Second one, that is the multimedia application. Second thing, whenever using the concept of the ATM, the most important thing is that the transmission rate. So transmission of data at much higher rate, that's the main need of the ATM. Point number 3, with using the ATM, you can directly apply the one new concept in networking. The name of the concept, that is known as a BISDN. So what is the full form of BISDN? So that is the Broadband Integrated Service Digital Network. So new generation of the network with using the concept of the ATM. And the fourth important point, you can apply the multiplexing of data. In digital electronics, all of you know, mainly two components. One, that is the multiplexer. Second one, that is the demultiplexer. So with using the concept of the ATM, you can apply the multiplexing of the data, voice and video traffic, because all of you know, in a networking, whatever the data pass, that is in a form of the traffic. So must remember one thing, mainly three types of data. First one, that is in a terms of the voice, that is in a terms of the video, and that is in a terms of the data. And the last important thing, why we need of the ATM. First one, the last important thing, that is the QoS. So QoS means what? That is the quality of service. So with using the concept of the ATM, you can enable the quality of the services on a local area network. Again, one question arises in my mind. How many types of network you know? So mainly three types of network. One, that is known as a local area network. Second one, that is known as a metropolitan area network. And third one, that is known as a wide area network. So that's the need of the ATM. After that, what's the benefit? What's the advantage behind the concept of the ATM? So let's start with the first one. First one, that is the small packet size. So whatever the data in a network layer, all of you know, that is in a form of the packet. So the first important thing, the small packet size, that is the advantage number 1 of the ATM. Second one, header size, small header size. So whenever you transmit any kind of data, any kind of packet, so must remember one thing, in ATM, whatever the data, that is in a form of the cell. So whenever you creating a cell format, at that time it is divided into two parts. One, that is known as a header. Second one, that is known as a payload. Payload is nothing but that is a one kind of data. So here you just see, first one, that is the small packet size, and second one, that is the small header size. So that is the advantage of the ATM. Point number 3, fit size cell. So whenever you talk about the concept of the ATM and whenever you talk about the cell of the ATM, that's directly supported the 53 bytes. Out of the 53 bytes, 48 bytes belongs to payload and 5 bytes belongs to header. So cell size that supported the 53 bytes. After that, dynamic bandwidth. All of you know what is the meaning of bandwidth. So that is the higher cutoff frequency minus lower cutoff frequency. So dynamic bandwidth, that is the most important advantage of the ATM. Next one, again the quality of service. So whatever the data provided by that, so that directly supported the QoS. After that, link speed. What is the meaning of link speed here? Link speed means if I want to establish the connection between the two devices. So whatever the data transmitted from the one device to another device, so at that time, whatever the link established between that, you can directly measure the speed of that. So link speed, that is the most important factor of the benefits of the ATM. And the last important thing, that is the common LAN WAN architecture. Again, local area network and again the wide area network, that is the most important thing. So you can directly provide the proper architecture for the with using the concept of the ATM. After that, first one benefits of the ATM, then the need of the ATM, and then after the most important topic, phases of the ATM. So phases of the ATM means ATM can be treated like different phase. So phase number 1 for the ATM, you just see the technical word, each and every word, that's the technical word. So here you just see first one, ATM can be treated as economical and integrated service. So economical and integrated service means with using the BISDN, you can directly treat the ATM as an economical and integrated service. Second one, ATM as an architecture and technology. Already you know how many types of network. So LAN, MAN and WAN. So if you want to establish the LAN WAN architecture, so with using the ATM, you can do that. Third one, ATM can be treated as an interface and protocol. So whenever you talk about the concept of the network, so must remember one thing, protocol, that is the most important term in a networking. So ATM can be treated as an interface and protocol. And the last important thing, ATM that can be treated as a WAN transport service. So all of you know in a OSI model. So whenever you talk about the concept of the OSI model, so how many layers in a OSI model? So let's start from the physical up to the application. So in a transport layer, ATM that can be treated as wide area network transport service. So up to this, mainly 3 points. First one, why we need the ATM. Second one, what's the advantage or benefits behind the ATM. And third one, if I want to use a ATM in a networking, so what's the different phases of the ATM. After that, the most important point, the concept of the TDM. All of you know how many type of multiplexing. So whenever you talk about the multiplexing, so first one, that is the TDM. TDM means time division multiplexing. Second one, that is the FDM. FDM means frequency division multiplexing. Third one, that is the PDM, that is the phase division multiplexing. And fourth one, that is the WDM, that is the wavelength division multiplexing. But here, if you want to use the concept of the ATM network, the most important thing, the concept TDM that can be treated as a ATM network concept. So let's start with that. Here you just see. So how you utilize the ATM network? That's the first question. So here you just see whatever the bandwidth. So utilization of the bandwidth with using a one concept. The name of the concept, that is known as a packet switching and circuit switching. So packet switching and circuit switching with using one concept, that is the time division multiplexing. So how the data to be sent in a ATM? So must remember one thing, data to be sent to the network into the fixed size unit, and the name of the unit, that is known as a cell. Each and every cell sent to the multiplexer. Multiplexer directly schedule the cell from the various flow into a single channel queue. So up to this, at least you know, if you want to transmit a data with using the concept of ATM, so must remember one thing, that is in a form of the cell. After that, whatever the cell, it directly sent to the multiplexer. Multiplexer directly scheduling the cell from the various flow and put it in a single channel queue. If I want to perform the multiplexing of cell with using the which technique, that's the big question. So if I want to use the multiplexing of cell with using the different technique, the most important technique, the two name of the technique, first one, that is known as a ATDM, second one, that is known as a STDM. So ATDM means what? Asynchronous time division multiplexing. And second one, STDM means synchronous time division multiplexing. So let's start with, first of all, talk about the synchronous time division multiplexing, and then after the talk about the asynchronous time division multiplexing. So let's start with the STDM. Here you just see, this is the diagram for the STDM. here you just see mainly two channels. Then after I put the multiplexer, and then after the output channel. So in this particular figure, that is directly divided into three components. One, that is the channel, input channel. Second one, that is the multiplexer. And third one, that is the output channel. So STDM means what? STDM means synchronous time division multiplexing. So what's the logic behind that? The main logic is that it sends the cells only when its turn comes. Again I repeat, it sends the cells only when its turn comes. So during that period, no other node is supposed to send the cells. That is the most important part of the concept of the STDM. Here you just see the figure. First of all C, then after Z, then after B, then after Y, then after A, and then after X. So this is the case related to STDM. So in case of ATDM, what's the logic behind that? The logic is that here you just see. This is the diagram for that. So here you just see, here I put the three input channel. In this particular channel, the different cells are there. Here I put the multiplexer, and then after put the output channel. So here you just see the most important thing regarding the ATDM is that bandwidth has been utilized fully. So what is the meaning of that? How I justify my answer? The justification is that no time slot is wasted on output channel. So that is the most important thing. Here you just see, first of all C3, then after the B2, then after the A3, then after the C2, then after the B1, then after the A2, then after the C1, and then after the empty slot. But in output channel, you can directly put the A1 as a next slot. This is in case of the ATDM. But in case of the STDM, you can directly put the empty slot in a output channel. So that is the difference between the STDM and ATDM. So up to this clear, I think. So this is the most important thing, STDM and ATDM. What is the difference between STDM and ATDM? Mainly component, three component, one that is the input channel, one that is the multiplexer, and one that is the output channel. So let's start with the next topic. TP, VP and VC. So what is the meaning of that? So here you just see TP, VP and VC, the technical word. What is the meaning of TP? That is the transmission path. What is the meaning of VP? That is the virtual path. And what is the meaning of VC? That is the virtual circuit. Again I repeat the name. TP means transmission path, VP means virtual path, and VC means virtual circuit. So first of all, ATM that support the packet switching and circuit switching. So that is a one kind of connection oriented technology. Connection between the two nodes. If I want to establish the connection between the two nodes, how I establish the connection? With using the three component TP, VP and VC. TP means what? Transmission path. So what's the definition behind that? That's the one kind of physical channel in which data is transmitted in a form of the stream of the bits. This particular transmission path contains the different virtual path. This virtual path that directly connect two nodes or switch in an ATM network, and one VP that contains the several virtual circuit to carry the ATM cell. Again I repeat, one transmission path that support the different virtual path, and one virtual path that support the different virtual circuit, and each and every virtual circuit that directly carry the ATM cell in a network. So this is regarding the definition of the TP, VP and VC. Then after one diagram you just see. So in between I put the TP, that's a different VP, and in this particular VP the different VC. So this is the diagram regarding TP, VP and VC. So let's start with the next point. Again that's the different identifier. Here you just see VCI. VCI means what? Virtual circuit identifier. And VPI means what? Virtual path identifier. So let's start with the definition. First one already you know, that is the VCI, virtual circuit identifier. Second one, that is the VPI, virtual path identifier. Third one, VCC. So what is the meaning of VCC here? Virtual channel connection. Fourth one, VPC, virtual path connection. VCC, what's the logic behind the VCC? So VCC, they directly connect two users or two devices. Whenever you talk about the VPC directly connect the two VCCs. So here must remember the name. First one start with the VCI, then after start with the VPI, third one that is the VCC, fourth one that is the VPC. VCC that directly provide the connection between the two devices, and VPC that directly consist of set of different VCCs. So again, VCI, so virtual circuit identifier that directly define a particular VC through which stream of cells of a single message will flow. So with using the VCI, you can directly transmit the different cell. And the VPI, it defines a particular VP. VP means what? That's the virtual path. In this, all the VC means what? Virtual circuit are connected together. So again, one diagram regarding this. Here you just see. So that is the different VCI. In between the different VPI. In between you put the TP. So one TP contain the different VP, one VP contain the different VC. Each and every TP, VP and VC supported the different identifier. So with using this, you can directly identify the transmission between the two nodes. After that, I think there's the last point for the today's session, that is the ATM network interface. All of you know, whenever you talk about the concept of the network, whenever you talk about the concept of the network cabling, so at that time, mainly three types of cable in your mind. First one, that is the fiber optic cable. Second one, that is the twisted pair cable. Third one, that is the coaxial cable. But whenever you talk about the twisted pair cable, so mainly two types for that. One, that is known as a UTP. Second one, that is known as a STP. Here, ATM network interface that supported the two techniques. One, that is known as a UNI, and second one, that is known as a NNI. What is the meaning of UNI? User to network interface. And second one, that is the network to network interface. So let's start with this. Here you just see UNI stands for the user to network interface and NNI stands for the network to network interface. UNI exists between which component? That's the big question mark here. So UNI exists between the user devices and network terminating equipment. Means if you want to provide the connection between the user device and equipment, you can directly use the UNI. But in case of NNI, that exists between the two network equipment. For example, if you want to establish the connection between the two switches only, so at that time you can directly put the NNI. So here you just see UNI and NNI is further classified into the public as well as the private, that depending on whether the switch is owned by a customer or a public company. So that totally depends on that. Must remember two names here. One, that is the UNI, and second one, that is the NNI. And UNI and NNI again further divided into public and private. Here you just see one diagram for this ATM network interface. That's the diagram. That's the end point. End point is nothing but a one system, for example. Here you put the one switch. So if you want to provide the connection between the end point and switch, you can directly use the concept of the UNI. But if you want to provide the connection between the two switches, so whatever the interface using in an ATM, that is directly classified into the NNI. So again I repeat, if you want to provide the connection between the endpoint and switch, you can directly use the concept of UNI. If you want to provide the connection between the two switches, so at that time you can directly use the concept of NNI. So that's the one diagram. So you properly understood what's the meaning of the UNI and what's the meaning of the NNI as a interface. So that's all about the today's session. Thank you for watching.